You can perceive exactly the moment when hope dies. It is not a dramatic event. It is not accompanied by loud sounds or fast movements. It is silent. It is physical. It is the moment when you look at a number in a bank account and understand that that number is not enough. Monica Rivera woke up that Tuesday, March 21st, 2023, at 5:17 in the morning, 23 minutes before the alarm clock rang. Her body already knew. Her body had known for weeks, 48 hours. That is exactly how much time remained. The apartment was silent. That type of silence that only exists in the minutes before dawn, when the entire city is still sleeping, and you are the only person awake carrying the weight of the world. Sophia slept in the small bedroom. 8 years of life, breathing deeply, without understanding what her parents were facing. Daniel was in the bed beside her, 6 years old. So small, so unconscious, that apartment, with its worn walls and its floors that creak, was everything he had known since being born. Monica sat in the kitchen. The temperature was cold. Not because of the air conditioning, because of the absence of heat. It is impossible not to notice when the lack of money becomes lack of comfort, lack of security. The notice was glued to the door. She had read it so many times that she had memorized each word. Eviction notification. In official letters from an authority that did not recognize her name as a person, only as a debtor. Landlord: Robert Chen. Tenant: Monica Rivera. Reason: rent overdue, 2 complete months. Amount: $3,800. Deadline: Thursday, March 23rd, 6 in the evening, 48 hours. She opened the bank application on her cell phone. The screen illuminated her face in the darkness of the kitchen. The balance was so small that it was almost not visible. $143. Had she counted wrong? She looked again. $143. And rent is due at the dawn of Thursday. Monica had spent her entire life believing that working hard was enough, that if you just worked enough, slept little enough, sacrificed enough, everything would work out. But that number in the account revealed the truth that nobody speaks out loud. Hard work is not enough when the system was not built for people like you. She thought about Marcus. Her ex-husband had disappeared in 2020. Just disappeared. He left a letter, left the financial responsibilities, left 2 children who asked, "Where is Daddy?" before sleeping. He found a new love, a new life. In 2023, he was living in Seattle with a woman who had inheritance. Monica was here, in Oakland, asking the universe for a miracle that never came. You can recognize that type of despair that is so deep that it no longer seems like despair, just reality. She had tried everything. Work advance? Denied. Tony, the manager of Rosa's diner, had that look of apology in his eyes when she asked. Business was not so good. He could not. Loan bank? Her credit score had fallen so much that any institution saw her as a risk. Credit card? All 5 cards she had were at maximum limit. She had stopped trying calls weeks ago. Her parents died when she was 28 years old. A car trip that went wrong. No life insurance. No inheritance. Only hospital bills that took years to pay. She had no siblings. She had acquaintances. She had no friends. Who could be? Friends with someone who works 15 hours a day? The truth was simple. Monica was alone. The alarm clock rang at 5:40. She slept exactly 23 minutes that night. Her hand trembled while she silenced the alarm. It is impossible not to feel the fear when you wake up knowing that today is another day when you will try to earn money that will not be enough. She got up. The floor was freezing. Her toenails touched the floor, and the first sensation was coldness. Always coldness. Even her home did not keep her warm anymore. The uniform from Rosa's diner was hanging on the door. Black pants, white blouse, apron with the restaurant logo. Monica touched it and felt the texture of what she had touched every day for 2 years. Each cotton thread was a testimony of a day surviving. She looked at herself in the mirror. 48 hours. That number was written on her face, in the bags under her eyes, in the wrinkles that did not belong to a woman of 32 years old. Invisibility fights for dignity. That was the dynamic she lived. She was invisible in the eyes of society. But her fight for dignity, her refusal to give up, that was visible. That was real. Monica left a note for Mrs. Chen, her 71-year-old neighbor who took care of Sophia and Daniel for free. Because how would she pay for a babysitter? How would she pay for anything? I will be back at 2 in the afternoon. Morning shift. Thank you as always. You save my life every day. Mrs. Chen saved her life every day. And Monica could not even offer money as thanks. Only words. Only the emptiness of gratitude without currency. Rosa's diner opened its doors at 6 in the morning. The place smelled of fresh coffee and bacon grease being heated. For most people, this was a comforting smell. For Monica, it was the smell of another day of work. Another day of being invisible. Another day of smiling while her world collapsed. The customers began to arrive. Local workers. Couples who had time for breakfast together. People who could afford to be at Rosa's diner, not out of necessity to earn, but for pleasure of eating. Monica served eggs. She served toasted bread. She served cups of coffee whose temperature her hand felt 1,000 times, but her heart never really touched. Invisibility fights for dignity. Each plate she delivered was a small battle. Each customer who ignored her was a victory of the system over her spirit. At 9 in the morning, the first shift ended. $7 in tips. Salary, $22 before taxes. Less than $30 that would not pay even 1% of the debt. Lunch shift would start soon. Monica would go home during the break, would see Sophia and Daniel for 1 hour, would ensure they were well, and would return. 48 hours. That night, when she would return to Rosa's diner for the night shift, something extraordinary would enter through that door at 9:07 in the evening. A man in a warrior's cap, common, jeans, gray hoodie. Someone nobody would recognize. Someone who would change everything in just 15 minutes. But in that moment, while Monica dried the morning plates, she did not know that. She only knew that there were 48 hours. 48 hours until their lives were to the street. The night shift began at 6 in the evening. Monica had spent 1 hour with Sophia and Daniel. 1 complete hour, something she rarely could afford. She had helped with homework. Sophia was learning. Multiplication. Daniel was reading a book about dinosaurs. For that hour, she had pretended that everything was fine. When she returned to Rosa's diner, night had already fallen over Oakland. The streets were quieter. The restaurant tended to be emptier at night. Different customers, people who came alone, couples on silent dates, sometimes families celebrating something. Tony, the manager, was at the entrance. He is a man of 45 years old, who always had compassion for Monica, but never the money to demonstrate it. Quiet night, he said. Just the usual. She entered. The air conditioning touched her skin as always, cold, impersonal, efficient. The restaurant was half full. Empty tables waiting to be occupied. You can perceive that feeling of early evening in a restaurant. Everything is still possible. The day can change direction at any moment. At 9:07 in the evening, the door opened. A man entered. He was not particularly tall. He was not extraordinarily handsome. He wore a warrior's cap, worn blue jeans, a gray hoodie that had seen better days. His face had the quality of what you see everywhere, but do not really process. Familiar, but not identified. Monica guided him to a table. Booth 5, near the window. "Good evening," she said. "Here is your menu." He sat down. The vinyl seat made that particular sound of someone settling in. He observed the menu for a few moments. Then he looked up. "Are you okay?" he asked. The question stopped her. Customers did not ask things like that. Customers asked about food, about the weather, about whether the shake was hot enough. They did not ask if you were okay. "Yes," Monica responded automatically. "How can I help you?" "You look tired," he said, "as if you had slept about 4 hours in the last 3 nights." It is impossible not to recognize when someone is really observing you. Monica began, then stopped. Why should she lie? Double shift, morning and night. It has been like this for a while. How long have you worked today? Since 6 in the morning. I went home in the middle of the day for 1 hour. Now I am here until 11. 15 hours, he said. It was not a question. More or less. He flipped through the menu. What do you recommend? Monica offered the options. Special plate, deluxe hamburger, grilled chicken. Always the same recommendations, always the same words. The deluxe hamburger is good today. Sweet potato fries. They are fresh. Do you like working here? He asked. The question stopped her again. Nobody asked things like that. The automatic answer would be, yes, it is a great place. But Monica was too tired to lie. No, she said. Her voice became lower. But it is work, and I need work. He nodded as if he understood. Exactly. Deluxe hamburger. Sweet potato fries. Iced tea, please. She wrote down the order. Her hands were trembling slightly. She did not know why. While she waited for the meal, she could not stop observing him. There was something about that man that was different. He was not in a hurry. He did not check his phone every minute. He just sat, just observed the restaurant. There was a quality of being present in him that was rare. When she brought the plate, he looked her in the eyes. Thank you, he said. What is your name? Monica, she responded. She generally never said her name. Customers could see the name tag, but he had asked in a way that required her to respond. Pleasure to meet you, Monica. I am Steph. He ate the hamburger. Monica passed by the table while serving other customers. Each time she approached, he asked another question. Do you have family? He asked between bites. 2 children, Monica responded. Again, she should not have shared. But the words came out. Sophia is 8 years old. Daniel is 6. Are they well? He asked. The question was not casual. It was genuine, as if her children really mattered to him. They are well, Monica said. They are at school. The neighbor raises them during the day. You are mother and father to them? He asked. Monica froze. Yes, she finally responded. My husband left. They are lucky to have you, he said. You can feel that relief when someone finally recognizes what you are doing? Monica had to move away. Her eyes were blinking. She could not cry in front of a customer. When she returned, he had finished. He called her. "Monica, may I ask you something personal?" She prepared for the worst. Sometimes customers asked questions. That crossed lines. She had learned to respond professionally. "Do you believe that good things will still happen? For you?" The question was so unexpected that she had to process it again. "I want to believe," she responded honestly. "Keep believing," he said. "You deserve good things, Monica." It is impossible not to feel the change when someone genuinely believes in you. He asked for the check. Monica brought it. $20.25. A customer like any other customer. Man who ate food, talked with her, and now was leaving. He placed the leather folder that Rosa's diner used for checks in front of him. He opened it. Monica saw him fiddle with something. Then he closed the folder. He stood up. He placed the folder on the table. "Monica," he said, "you are stronger than you think. Never forget that." He left. Monica stood watching the door for a few moments. Something familiar about him. Something she should have recognized, but she could not identify it. Tony called her from another table. She got distracted. Invisibility fights for dignity. And that night, she had fought well. When the shift ended at 11 at night, Monica finally took the folder. She took it to the kitchen where Jimmy, the cook, was cleaning. "Jimmy, did you see that man? Booth 5? "The one with the warrior's cap," Jimmy responded. "No. Why?" "There was something familiar about him," Monica said. She opened the folder. What she saw did not process immediately. First layer, the Rai, check, 20 and 25. Second layer, a $100 bill. Third layer, another 100. Another. Monica began to count. Her hands trembled. Jimmy stopped cleaning. "What is it?" he asked. "I do not know," Monica whispered. She continued counting. Her brain tried to process the number. It was impossible. Absolutely impossible. 100 bills of $100. $10,000 in live cash. You can recognize that moment where reality becomes more unreal than any dream you have ever had. "Monica," Jimmy said, "how much is it?" 10,000, she whispered. "It is $10,000. Her legs failed. She sat in the chair near the kitchen. The paper fell on the table. The bills scattered. Under the money there was a white card. She took it with fingers that could no longer control themselves. The handwriting was careful, legible, as if someone had thought each word. "Monica, you mentioned going through a difficult time. I believe in you. I believe you will overcome. This is not charity. It is recognition. Recognition of a mother who works 15 hours a day, of a woman who does not give up, of someone who deserves a break. Use this to give stability to you and your children. Pay what you need to pay. Breathe. Rest. You are stronger than you know. A friend who believes in you." Under the letter, there was a business card. The logo was familiar. SC30 Inky, a phone number, an email. And then, handwritten on the back, "If you need more help, please call." Monica froze. SC30. She traced the cap, the warriors, the way he had talked, the compassion in that look, that quality of being present. "Steph," she whispered. Jimmy looked over her shoulder. She opened her phone. She typed the initials in the search bar. Images appeared. The warrior's cap, the height, the face. Oh my God. "Monica," Jimmy breathed. "Was it him? Was it really?" "Steph Curry," Monica whispered. It was Steph Curry. She collapsed. It was not just the money. It was not just the numbers that changed her financial situation. It was the recognition. It was someone with a name, with fame, with infinite resources. Stopping. Really stopping. To see her. To hear her. To believe in her. Invisibility fights for dignity. And that night, someone had chosen to restore her dignity. She cried. They were not silent tears. They were convulsions that came from a place so deep that she did not even know it existed. Jimmy placed his hand on her shoulder. Tony came, out of the office. "Monica, what happened?" Tony asked. She just pointed. When they saw the number, silence filled the kitchen of Rosa's diner. Cook, manager, waitress, all crying. Because they understood. They understood what had happened. It was not about money falling from the sky. It was about one human being seeing another human being. Really seeing. Monica stood up. She took her phone. She called Mrs. Chen. "Monica, is everything okay?" Mrs. Chen asked. "Are the children okay?" "Yes," Monica responded with her voice still trembling. "Everything is okay. Better than okay. I will be late. Can you? Just 15 minutes? Of course, dear. I will stay with them." Monica stored the money carefully. Each bill, each dollar. She held that card as if it were the most precious thing she had ever touched. Invisibility fights for dignity. And that night, dignity had won. Thursday morning, 8 o'clock. Oakland Bank. Monica entered with an envelope. Inside, $10,000 in live cash. She had slept on top of the letter. She could not believe it was real. The teller recognized her. She had gone there many times, always with problems, always with bad credit, always struggling. "May I deposit?" Monica asked. Her voice was small, as if the question were too much to ask. "Of course," the teller responded. He was accustomed to deposits, but when he saw the number, his eyebrows rose. 10,000, he asked. "Yes," he processed. The system updated. The balance that had been $143 was now 10,000. 143. Monica began to cry again. Right there in the bank, in front of strangers, she cried. Because $10,000 meant security. $10,000 meant that notice on the door, that threat that had dominated each breath, could be undone. Of the $10,000 she would pay. March rent, overdue. $1,900. February rent, overdue. $1,900. April rent, advance. $1,900. Total, $5,700. Remaining, $4,300. She would still have almost $5,000. She could not process that. $5,000 was more money than she had seen in years. She went directly to the landlord's office, Robert Chen, a man of 70 years old who had been kind but firm about the eviction. Business was business. "Mr. Chen," Monica said, "I have the rent." She placed the checks on the table. $5,700 to cover the 3 months. Robert Chen looked at her, then looked at the checks. His face changed. "Monica, you got—" "Yes," she responded. "Can I stay?" "You can stay," he responded. His eyes became moist. "You can stay, dear." Back home, supermarket. For the first time in 8 months, Monica allowed the cart to be full. Fresh fruits, real meat, chicken. Vegetables that were not in that type of discount because they were almost expiring. Whole milk, real cheese, eggs, snacks for the children, cookies, apple juice that was real, chocolate. When she arrived at the cashier, the total was $287. She had $3,413 in her account. She could pay $287 and not even blink. She paid with her debit card. The transaction was approved immediately. That night, Monica prepared real dinner: grilled chicken, broccoli, rice, bread. The table was like any table in any house anywhere in the world. Sophia and Daniel came home from school. Their faces changed when they saw the food. "Mommy," Sophia asked, "what is the occasion?" Monica sat with them. She hugged them before speaking. "Something good happened," she said. "Something very good." "Do we have to move?" Daniel asked. His voice became small. "No, baby," Monica responded. "We do not have to move. We stay. We stay at home." Daniel ran to her arms. "We will not have to go live on the street?" Monica froze. She turned to Sophia. The girl's eyes were red. You knew?" Monica asked. "We heard you cry," Sophia said. "At night, we saw the paper on the door. We understood. Children. They always understand. They just do not speak because they did not want to scare you even more." Monica hugged both. "We stay," she whispered. "Someone helped us. Someone saw that we needed. And we stay." You can feel that relief when the burden you carried alone is finally shared. That night, Monica slept 10 hours, completely, without interruption, without dreams about eviction, just darkness, just rest. She woke up refreshed. 6 months later, September 2023, Monica still worked at Rosa's diner, but not like before. Tony had promoted her to shift supervisor. Her salary had increased from $18 per hour to $22 per hour. She now worked a single shift, 6 in the morning to 2 in the afternoon. Enough time to be home when the children came back from school. At night, she enrolled in an online course, business administration. Her dream was to open her own cafe one day. Small, tight, but hers. The night before, she had spent 4 hours studying. Her brain was more alive than it had been in years. Sophia had made the soccer team. Daniel had entered art class. Both were happy. Both were growing with less fear. The savings of $2,543, after paying rent, had been strategically divided. $1,500 for emergency fund. Untouchable $643 for her online course. $400 for new clothes for the children. Clothes that were not second-hand. Clothes that were only theirs. Monica had never called the number on Steph Curry's card, but she had written a letter. "Dear Steph, you do not know me, but you changed my life. That night at Rosa's diner, you did more than leave a tip. You saw my humanity. You recognized that I mattered. That recognition saved more than just my home. It saved my spirit. My children, Sophia and Daniel, are doing better at school. They are happy again. They are not afraid. I am going back to school. I am studying to open my own cafe. Invisibility fights for dignity. But that night, you proved that dignity can win. Thank you." With deep gratitude, Monica Rivera and Sophia and Daniel sent drawings. She sent it via SC30 Inca. She did not expect a response, but one arrived. A package. 2 weeks later. Return. Address SC30 Inky. Inside, autographed Warriors shirts. One for Sophia. One for Daniel. An autographed basketball. And a letter. "Monica, thank you for writing. Your children's drawings are hanging in my office. You are not invisible. You never were. Keep being the warrior that you are. Your children are lucky. You deserved this help. With admiration, Steph. Monica framed the letter. She hung it in the living room. Each morning, when she woke up, she observed it. Invisibility fights for dignity. And every day, she chose dignity. The meaning today, Monica Rivera wakes up at 6 in the morning, but not from despair. By choice, she goes to work, not with fear, but with gratitude. She returns home at 2 in the afternoon, and for the first time in years, she has time. Time to help with homework. Time to play in the park. Time to be a mother. That Tuesday night, March 21st, 2023, at 9:07 in the evening, when a man with a warrior's cap entered Rosa's diner. It was not luck. It was not chance. It was kindness meeting need. It was humanity at its best. Steph Curry will never completely know how much those 15 minutes saved a family. But Monica knows, and she passes that lesson forward. Every day. To Sophia and Daniel. Be kind, always. Because you never know when you can be someone's angel. Invisibility fights for dignity, and in this story, dignity definitely won.